Okay, we're back once more with more browser-based wrestling games. BBWg. That's a better acronym to use for it than the one that I suggested at the end of the last video. So, be the indie wrestler. I showed up the building for tonight's show, VFW Hall. Put up your hood, then go inside. Nobody saw that you're the wrestler they're going to be seeing later tonight, or if they did, you're wearing a hood. What's the venue looking like? Shake the first wrestler's hand. Always. Shake the second wrestler's hand. Why is this as you pretend you like this ass? Okay, shake the third wrestler's hand. Look for the promoter. Go check out the ring. I'm just like skipping through all this stuff. This is just stuff that you should do every single time you go to a wrestling venue. If you're going to a wrestling show, working with it, show respect to the boys. Back in the ring, the trainees and greenhorns are tightening the ropes. The scramble match participants are practicing their 10-man suplex spot. Someone is throwing Alex Olsen. Take a closer look at it. You check the ring apron. On one side, notice that there are several wooden boards exposed where the thin layer of padding isn't reaching far enough. Call over a ring crew guy. You wave someone over and point to the problem. They tell them this is how the big boys. They tell you that this is how the big boys play. Since you've been on even a single show before, you know this is patently untrue. But you now know what kind of show you're on, and there's nothing you can do. Someone calls at the door. Doors are opening in 5 minutes. You take a picture of the ring and post it to your Snapchat story with caption tonight's battleground. Your coworkers ask you for Monday. Your coworkers will ask you on Monday if you won at your meet and what class you're in. All right, to the locker room we're in. Locker room is bustling with activity. Everyone is looking for gum and wrist tape. Very, on the nose. One of tonight's main eventers is loudly explaining his cutter finisher to his opponent, saying bro a lot. The same bottle of water gets stolen from person to person like 3 times. Go see if the card is up. You approach a very unprofessional torn piece of notebook paper taped to a wall. A big name, a former TV wrestler asks you where the bathroom is. You tell him. He says, thank you. You'll talk about this for the rest of your life. This is attacking me on a very personal level. You check out the card and see that your match has been given 8 minutes. 8 minutes it is. Cool. Hey, congrats. You're an actual pro. Your good deed will be rewarded when the match before you goes 40 minutes and kills the crowd. Go check out the gorilla position. You enter the gorilla position. The curtain off area you'll be making your entrance from. It's currently occupied by a strange man playing Skillet on Windows Media Player for the fans filling in. Once more, very accurate. How many people are out there? You peek through the curtain. There are 12 people in the crowd. Your friend, who always says they need to make it to one of your shows, isn't there. Your parents were the only. Your parents were only ever going to one, and they weren't impressed with you getting squashed in that armory. The promoter appears to be out of nowhere blaming the weather, the UFC pay-per-view, and a parade for the bad draw. You close the curtains, disappointed as the promoter vanishes in the cloud of vape smoke and empty pay envelopes. I think the strange man is trying to talk to me. He is, and he's asking you what your entrance music is. Now, this is the thing that you should always do anytime you're at an independent wrestling show and you're wrestling. You should always have a thumb drive with your music on it. Don't go to the freaking venue and say, this song here. Oftentimes the person doing the music will not be able to get that music for you. Say, for instance, this is from my personal experience where I got thrown into a battle royale. Didn't even know this was happening, but it happened. But they said, what do you want to come into? And I said, Sabotage by the Cancer Bats. But we weren't able to find a copy of that on such short notice, so it was Sabotage by Beastie Boys. It was fine. So always have a thumb drive with your entrance music on it so that, the music guy can do his job. Do your job, he can do his job. Everyone will be happy. Okay, what entrance music would we like? Bad metal, Drake rapping, you rapping, weird creepy church music you found on YouTube, some video game anime bullshit, song that takes entirely too long for the beat to drop and you refuse to come out until it does. Let's go with bad metal. He shakes his head with a chuckle and says, classic. Presses the buttons on Windows Media Player. Your opponent approaches from the locker room chewing tobacco and wearing flip-flops. They ask you if you want to plan it the match. Sure, let's put it together. You and your opponent plan the match. they tell you the only thing they really want to get in, strangely enough, is a bicycle kick. Yeah, of course. Next, you're asked to do a spot that, although cool, you know you will fuck up. How about a roll-up? They're disappointed and will probably bury you on Twitter later, but they agree. What is this game? You're about to part ways when they stop and ask you what your gimmick is. Gimmick moves, pretty boy who swivels her hips, woman with green hair who screams, fake MMA fighter, supposedly creepy character with a mask slash makeup, heel who does a little half laugh for emphasis in the promos. Stu the supposedly creepy character with a mask and makeup. That's spooky. See you out there. Let's go tear it up. You arrive in Gorilla Permission where the promoter tells you he forgot to have you take promo pictures. How do you pose? Do a throat slash. Following the grand wrestling tradition of making death threats you can't possibly make good on. It's finally almost time. You're standing behind the curtain now, jumping in place, getting in the zone. You ready? Hit my music. You bust through the curtain only to discover something horrible. Woohoo. That's not your ancient music. That's Song 2 by Blur. Woohoo! Quick, which classic indie wrestling entrance thing do you recover on? Flip off the crowd. That's right. Or badass heel. The crowd doesn't react at all. Oh my god, this is... Yeah. The bell rings and you scrap for the opponent. How do you start this thing? I want to hit him. I don't blame you, but let's think about this. Are you going to throw a safe punch or stiff him? Safe. They trust you and let you hit them. You make contact, but it's safe. They hit you back. It's the hardest thing you've ever been hit in your life. My frackin' head. You roll out on the floor to recover. Your opponent doesn't pick up on you needing a second, goes for a dive. Catch the asshole. Pretend to catch him, but mostly protect yourself. All the marks and spot monkeys will look down and shout, "Catch me!" And I'll look up and whisper, "No." This is amazing. Oh, dear. Is this the receipt? I think that needs to wait a bit for the receipt. We're gonna catch the asshole. With great power comes great responsibility, so you catch them. As they jump up and pose in front of the possibly sleeping crowd, you pull yourself up to the side of the ring, laying your back against the apron. It's gonna hurt, but you know one thing that will get a reaction out of these people. Tell your opponent to chop you. You whisper, "Chop me," and brace for an open hand slap to the chest. Your opponent picks you up and slams you into the floor. It hurts so bad. Roll back in the ring. This dude's a dick. The match continues, and after an incredibly uncompelling heat and comeback, you reach the final stretch of the match. Your opponent gets into position for a bicycle kick, pointing at you and yelling your name, which causes a building-wide cringe. You feed in to take the kick, but it never comes. They've forgotten their own spot. How do you recover? Shoot German suplex. Oh, God. Without telling them what you're doing, you grab them around the waist. This is your receipt, boy, and behind and throw them over your head. Despite landing on their neck and shoulders, they roll back up to their feet with their arms at the side and yell. Of course they do. "Daddy, what's happening?" asks a child in the audience. They think it makes him look strong, but it actually makes our opponents look weak, and it reminds us, the fans, that all of this isn't real. It makes us feel like nothing matters. What would actually make them look strong is if they took the move, demonstrated that it hurt, and then got up and fought through it. You're right, Dad. That would make for much better professional wrestling. I know, my very realistic child. Now watch. It looks like the ref is telling them something. Indeed, the ref is whispering you that your time is up and you need to end the match. Ah, damn. There's more we could do, but if it's time, it's time. You grab a quick schoolboy and your opponent. 3 seconds, this nightmare will be over, and you'll be on your way to Denny's. Except they kick out. What the... You and your opponent brawl as you tell them to end the match, exchanging strikes until they're close to ropes. They headbutt you and slap their thigh, which, as we all know, perfectly simulates the sound of 2 skulls hitting together. They hook your head and arm and call for a suplex over the ropes to the floor. You know you can't do this. And wait, which side of the ring had the exposed boards? Absolutely not. You counter the suplex with an inside cradle, begging them to stay down. The ref counts to 3 and the bell rings. You celebrate your victory, then quickly walk to the back. Your opponent thanks you for the great match and blames you for everything that went wrong in the same breath. Hours pass, as does the time the show was supposed to be over, but the show does eventually end. You find the promoter who says, "Great match," shakes your hand, and hands you an envelope. Oh god. You gather up your stuff and your carload of other wrestlers and get back on the road. Open the envelope. You've been paid $5. You continue on the drive to Denny's, venting and swapping stories with your friends. There's a lot of things about wrestling that sucks. But there was a you that grew up in the stands or in front of the TV thinking, wouldn't it be cool to be in there? And it's pretty cool, isn't it? You get to travel all over, making lasting memories and relationships, doing what you love. You get to be part of a world that most people will never get to experience. And you probably proved at least a few naysayers wrong along the way. You found a way to make the childhood dream your reality. When it's good, it's good. Well, I had all intentions of continuing and playing more browsing-based games, but this one here, yeah, literally, that is the most accurate description of an indie wrestling show that I have ever seen. I've partook in quite a few, and I haven't had a singles match. I've pretty much just been in a battle royale. But my time spent in the locker room listening to the boys and seeing all of the shit that goes on, that is one of the most accurate representations of like a small-time indie fed that I've ever seen. And that is a perfect note to end it on. So folks, I'm Plastic Bag Man, wannabe independent professional wrestler who just feels like I had a personal attack on me by a browser-based wrestling game, saying thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. You've been paid $5 freaking. At least you got paid, boy.